When you look at the Steelers' offense, pretty physical, a young quarterback. What do you see on tape that the Steelers do and want to do offensively?
Well, they're going to run. They're mostly an outs. They don't pull many guys. They had one back power against the Ravens. They want to run the ball downhill. They want to run outside zone, and they want to run split zone or inside zone. And basically, all split zone it means is that there's no read on the backside. They're actually going to where everybody runs where the Browns would run a zone read and read that backside end. A split zone just means you're bringing a guy backside to block that end. So it's a true run play with no. You can run a little RPO off it, but in terms of run game wise with quarterback, it's a true, just a true zone play. They're very physical up front. Najee Harris wants to run downhill, 100 miles per hour. Their backup Warren is the same kind of mentality. They seem to have a different level of confidence now on offense. They're very, very physical. Pickett's a guy you can kind of attack. He's young. I think they can do some different things with him, but right now they want to run the ball downhill with Harris as much as possible.
Well, you mentioned Harris, Najee Harris. The first thing we're going to take a look at here is going to be the outside zone.
So yeah, this is basically outside zone against the Ravens. Ravens get their strong safety up here off the edge here, so it takes away the double teams, but they're good enough. They're athletic enough for, again, in that zone scheme, they're going to kind of move those guys laterally. So they're going to horizontally displace those defensive linemen and use those big bodies and create cutback lanes. And Harris is running at a very high level with physicality right now. So they're going to have to crowd the line of scrimmage, and they're going to have to make Pickett beat them.
All right, so that one is the outside zone. We're going to take a look. This next one is what you referred to as the split zone. Tell us what you see here. And again, it's going to be Najee Harris.
So you're going to see Connor Hayward, Cameron's younger brother. He's going to come from the top of the screen. He's going to come down, and he's going to actually kick out this backside, this end at the bottom of the screen. Pierre Paul, JPP. So he doesn't get a great kick out, but he gets contact with them. And all they're trying to do with the zone, any zone scheme, inside, outside zone, they're trying to create lanes. But the thing that you want to watch here, watch the left side of their line when the play starts again, and watch the movement they get on the Ravens, really good Ravens defensive line. It's really, really good movement. That left guard, that left tackle, they get tremendous movement on that Ravens defensive line with inside zone, either a double, and there's a man block down here by himself. They do a really good job. They're very physical right now.
All right, we mentioned the rookie quarterback has had 2 game-winning drives the last couple of weeks. So Kenny Pickett has gotten it done late in games. What do you see here? What are some of the points that you notice in this offense with Pickett?
Well, they keep it very simple with him. Very simple routes, very simple concepts. He's at his best when he's on the move here. So this is the game winner to Najee Harris. This is when he's at his best, when he's improvising, getting out of the pocket, finding people, scrambling. When he scrambles, he's looking for, number one, he's looking for Freiermuth. Then he's looking for Deontay Johnson. And Najee Harris is kind of the glue to that offense. But what I think the Browns can do is they can mix up what they do. I think the best thing to make Pickett do is keep him in the pocket. Make that young quarterback go through all his progressions. That's one of the hardest things to do for a quarterback. So when you get pressure as a quarterback, you at least know it's man coverage and you know where you're going with the ball. When it's zone coverage, you have to go through your progressions, which can be very difficult for a young quarterback. And there's times where he gets out of the pocket and he doesn't need to. And that's often because the first read is taken away. So I think the Browns should mix it up. I think they should heat him up. But I also think they should play some coverage, allow that 4-man front to get there and play a tight zone, a tight read forward. We can go through the progressions at times too.
How important some things from the secondary that you think are keys for the Browns?
Well, I think they got to find, like I said, Freiermuth is the key in terms of he's like the security blanket. So he is always going to run. He runs very good routes. He's a kind of a version of Travis Kelce where he's got receiver skills. So he runs very good option routes, very good out routes. He's a nightmare matchup for a secondary. The Browns cannot leave their safeties one-on-one with him. They cannot leave their safeties one-on-one with anybody in the slot. They need to, maybe get Newsome in there in the nickel situation, have him cover the slot. And if they do have a linebacker or somebody who's not a true cover guy, make sure they help over top. Again, I think that's been part of the success with Delpit is that they've allowed him to play deep and playing his strengths and not setting him up for failure, which has allowed him to play at a very high level now. So they just got to find Freiermuth. They got to find Deontay Johnson. The other guys got to prove themselves. Sims made a good catch last week on the game-winning drive, but he didn't do a ton up to that point. But for sure, the key is finding Freiermuth, especially on those third down attempts.